Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Montreal Canadiens fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been following the Montreal Canadiens over the past few months, you know that this offseason has been anything but ordinary. The Canadiens, historically known for their legendary moments, their Stanley Cup triumphs, and their reputation as one of the most storied franchises in the NHL, have once again entered a phase of strategic rebuilding and aggressive moves. And trust me, the latest developments are turning heads across the league. They've made some bold decisions, some smart trades, and most importantly, they're clearly signaling that they're aiming higher than ever before. Let's start with what perhaps has been the biggest headline of the offseason so far, the blockbuster trade that saw the Canadiens acquire Noah Dobson from the New York Islanders. Now, for those of you who follow the league closely, you know Dobson is a top-tier defenseman, a player who's been steadily climbing the ranks and is now seen as one of the most promising young blue liners in the entire NHL. He's only 24 years old, but he already has a reputation for being reliable, physical, and offensively gifted. His ability to contribute on both ends of the ice makes him a perfect fit for Montreal's revamped defensive core. So, what did it cost the Canadiens to land such a talent? Well, they traded away their 16th and 17th overall picks in the first round of the draft, a significant price, no doubt, along with forward Emil Heineman. Now, Emil Heineman is a talented young winger with a lot of upside, but giving up 2 first-round picks and a promising prospect in Heineman shows just how committed Montreal is to building a competitive team now. And perhaps more interestingly, this move wasn't just about acquiring a star. It was also about maintaining flexibility. The Canadiens managed to secure Dobson without giving up any of their top prospects, which is a smart move in the long-term view. And the immediate impact. Dobson signed an 8-year contract extension worth $9.5 million annually, making him a cornerstone of the Canadiens' defense for years to come. That's a clear message from management. They're all in on building around this guy. With Dobson anchoring the blue line, Montreal is boosting its defensive stability, which has been an area of concern for a while now. His arrival instantly elevates the team's defensive depth and provides a much-needed veteran presence on the back end. But hold on, this isn't just about one player. The Canadiens are still eyeing other targets, and rumors are swirling about potential trades that could reshape the roster even further. One of the names being floated around is Jordan Kyrou, the 30-goal scorer from the St. Louis Blues. Now, Kyrou has been a consistent offensive threat, and if Montreal manages to bring him in, it would give their forward group a serious boost. The Blues, however, don't seem to be in a rush to move him, so this could be a longer-term pursuit. Still, the interest is there, and that's telling of Montreal's aggressive approach this offseason. They're not just satisfied with the Dobson move, they want to take more steps toward becoming true contenders. Now, I mentioned the draft earlier, and that's where things got really interesting. The Canadiens started their day by swinging for the fences, making yet another impactful trade. They acquired Zachary Bolduc from the St. Louis Blues in exchange for defenseman Logan Mailloux. Bolduc is a talented young forward who had an impressive season in the NHL last year. He's only 22 years old, but has already shown flashes of offensive brilliance and a strong two-way game. His production last season indicated he's ready for more responsibility, and Montreal sees him as a key piece for their future. What makes this move even smarter is that Mailloux, while always a threat offensively, struggled a bit defensively during his 2 seasons in the AHL. Trading him for a versatile, high-upside player like Bolduc is a calculated risk that could pay off big time. Bolduc's role in the lineup could see him slot into the second or third line as a second-line winger, depending on how the team shapes up. His stats last year, a goal share on ice at 66%, expected goals at 53%, and an impressive points-per-hour rate, suggest he's primed for a breakout year. And with more ice time, he could become a real offensive driver for Montreal. Of course, these trades are part of a broader strategy. The Canadiens aren't just looking at the NHL roster, they're also bolstering their AHL squad. Signings like prospect Sean Farrell and defenseman Mark Delgaze to one-year contracts signal a focus on developing talent and creating a pipeline that can sustain success in the coming years. The Laval Rocket, Montreal's AHL affiliate, is getting some fresh blood, and fans should be excited about the young prospects coming up through the system. Farrell, in particular, is a player to watch, a skilled forward with a nose for the puck and a high hockey IQ that could translate well at the NHL level. Now, with the addition of Noah Dobson and Lane Hutson, the Canadiens' defense looks significantly better than it did last season. Hutson, one of the most promising young defensemen in the league, has already shown flashes of brilliance at the prospect level. His skating, vision, and puck-moving ability make him a perfect partner for Dobson. And with veteran presence alongside them, the team is setting itself up for a balanced, dynamic back end. The coaching staff, led by Martin St. Louis, now has options to experiment with pairings, which could lead to a more solid defensive structure as the season progresses. But it's not all smooth sailing. The Canadiens did let go of some depth players in free agency: Joel Armia, Christian Dvorak, Michael Pezzetta, and Raphael Harvey-Pinard, players who contributed in various ways last season. While they weren't headline makers, their departures open up opportunities for younger players to step in and prove themselves. The team's depth is being reshaped, and that's a natural part of any rebuilding phase. The key now is how well these young players can adapt and find chemistry on the ice. Looking ahead, Montreal fans have every reason to be optimistic. The off-season moves so far have been smart, targeted, and aggressive. The team's management is clearly making a statement. They're not here just to compete, they're here to contend. The combination of savvy trades, promising prospects, and a solid core of young talent suggests that the Canadiens are building a team that can challenge for the playoffs, and who knows, maybe even go deep into the postseason next year. And that's what really excites the fanbase, the sense that this team is on the cusp of something special. The rebuilding process is ongoing, yes, but the direction is clear. The players they've brought in, the moves they've made, all point toward a future where the Montreal Canadiens are once again among the league's elite. The excitement around the draft, the trades, and the prospects is palpable, and you can tell the team is motivated to climb back to the top of the NHL standings. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUB algorithm to keep recommending the latest Montreal Canadiens news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So what does all of this mean for the upcoming season? Well, if you're a Canadiens fan, you should be feeling a mix of excitement and anticipation. The team has addressed some of its biggest needs, and with a few more moves possibly on the horizon, the roster is shaping up to be more competitive than it's been in recent years. The defense, with Dobson and Hutson leading the way, looks more reliable. The offense is getting a boost with prospects like Bolduc and Farrell ready to step up. The team's culture seems to be shifting toward a more aggressive, win-now mentality, but without losing sight of the long-term development of their young stars. And let's not forget the coaching. Martin St. Louis, who has been praised for his player development skills and tactical acumen, is entering his second full season as head coach. His ability to mold this roster into a cohesive unit will be crucial. The team's leadership, both on and off the ice, is more experienced, more committed, and more hungry than ever before. The Montreal Canadiens are not just rebuilding, they're reloading with purpose. Now, as we look to the future, the expectations are high but grounded in reality. The Atlantic Division is fiercely competitive, with teams like the Boston Bruins, Tampa Bay Lightning, and Toronto Maple Leafs all vying for supremacy. But Montreal is now better equipped to hold its own against those giants. The depth, talent, and management foresight suggest they're on track to make a real push in the next few seasons. This isn't just about making the playoffs. It's about making a statement and returning to the elite level that Canadiens fans have been dreaming of for years. And finally, I want to hear from you, the fans. What's your take on all these moves? Are you excited about Dobson's arrival? Do you see Bolduc as the next breakout star? Or are you still concerned about some of the gaps on the roster? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter so much to us and to the future of this team. Remember, the passion of the fans has always been the heartbeat of the Canadiens, and your voice is what keeps this community alive and thriving. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, rumors, analysis, and everything you need to stay in the loop about the Montreal Canadiens. From the draft to free agency to training camp and beyond, this is the place for everything Canadiens. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep cheering for this team as they aim for greatness once again. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Habs go!